Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this is, you have read the video's title, so let's get on to the games. Many remember their first RPG, and that game for me was Final Fantasy Legend 3. Wait a minute, was that a haiku? The first project to be translated by the infamous Ted Woolsey was an RPG like any other, except that it allows you to command your own time-travelling spaceship that can either get in an extra attack on enemies, or put up a shield to avoid random battles altogether. Every RPG should have one. However, the most unique thing that this game brings to the table is that you can salvage parts from defeated enemies in order to transform into beasts, machines, or perhaps even beast machines? Well, perhaps not. Everyone who had a NES back in the 1990s remembers Contra, or Probotector as we called it in England for some reason. One of the hardest Game Boy games that was worth playing, Operation C has almost everything you would expect from Konami's premier shooter series. I say almost because they took out the famous code for 30 extra lives, and they replaced it with a different code for 10 extra lives. Yes, a true sportsman would attempt it without cheats, but we're only human. We have to do what feels good sometimes, don't we? And because no list of Game Boy games would be complete without mentioning the one that came bundled with it, here's Tetris. Long before Professor Layton came along, this was the big name in puzzle games. Even to this day, I still play a few rounds before heading out for the day as my mental gymnastics. It's simple but addictive. So much so that when I was recording footage for this segment, I got so focused on playing that I may have accidentally overloaded my hard drive. Have you ever played Ghosts and Goblins and wish you could play as Firebrand instead of Arthur? That's what the spin-off game Gargoyles Quest is for. A combination of well-controlled platforming and RPG elements, breathing fire, wall jumping, hovering. It's one of those games which simply feels good to play. Best of all, unlike its source material, taking a hit does not leave you hopelessly humiliated. In a similar vein to our previous entry, we now have a Castlevania spin-off in which you play as a vampire. Kid Dracula allows you to do all the vampire things that you've always wanted to do. Turning into a bat, summoning fire, snug Winona Ryder... alright, and maybe not that last one. Although you do get to play some enjoyable mini-games. However, I do have to wonder why this particular vampire isn't allergic to the sun. It's something that I'm going to continue pondering, even as you're already typing out your unfunny jokes about "at least he doesn't sparkle!" If you're going to borrow ideas from somewhere else, then we the consumers generally don't mind, as long as it's done well. Hope you're listening back there, Sonic Team! Mystic Quest. No, not that Mystic Quest. This Mystic Quest, otherwise known as Final Fantasy Adventure, was one of the Game Boy's best Zelda clones. Now, you may be wondering, in a universe where Zelda exists, why should I play a game like Zelda when I could just play Zelda? Quite a few reasons, to be honest. The bittersweet storyline, the massive bosses, the charge meter for special attacks, weapons that include Simon Belmont's whip, and, like most Squaresoft games, excellent music. And it also started one of the greatest action RPG franchises, Secret of Mana. And of course, the obligatory Mario entry. You run, you jump, and you incinerate everything in your path. Super Mario Land 2 was a simple pick-up-and-play platformer with zones you could visit in any order, including one set in space, decades before Mario Galaxy made it mainstream. Mario games also teach children the important lesson of always eating your vegetables. Mushrooms make you big and strong, and carrots are basically Red Bull. They give you wings! Mega Man is very much the quintessential run-and-gun platformer. Running, jumping, shooting, collecting weapons from bosses to exploit weaknesses, wonderful stuff. Unique to the Game Boy series, Mega Man 5 featured all new robot masters named after planets. This made it more than just a watered-down port of an NES title. Also unique to this game is Mega Man's new weapon, the Mega Arm. A rocket punch that can be upgraded to do more damage or grab faraway items. Supposedly, it's the most powerful weapon Dr. Light could devise at the time. Just make sure you keep Howard away from it. You know his history with robot hands. And of course, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, not only one of the best Game Boy titles, but also one of the greatest installments in the Zelda franchise. It took everything that was great about the series and streamlined it, which works well for a portable device. It's amazingly fast-paced as well. With enough skill, you can actually beat the first dungeon or two in the time it takes just to get the sword in some of the newer games. No, I'm not exaggerating, I timed it. I didn't really have anything better to do that day. And, let us be honest, any game endorsed by Rick Mayall has to be a good one.
I think you'll like it.
And finally, we bring together insect collecting, zoology, and Japanese monster films to form one of the most addictive RPGs of all time. There isn't much to say about Pokemon that hasn't already been said. Its mechanics are simple enough for anyone to enjoy, and it has competitive multiplayer that professionals can get a lot out of. Adding a new entry to the Pokédex, or teaching one of your team members a brand new attack will always keep you coming back for more. As I said earlier, the game is incredibly addictive. More addictive than sugar, alcohol, coffee, chocolate. Well, maybe not chocolate. And that, good people, is my list of the top 10 Game Boy games. Feel free to share yours in the comments below.